Hold up. Wait a minute.
Bruh.
Did you hit the like button? Drop some rabbits in the chat. Let's go.
Hit that like, hit that like. Welcome to the chat. Let's chit chat, hit chat. Hit that like, hit that like. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits, drop some rabbits, drop some drop them, drop them, drop them, drop them. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits, drop some rabbits, drop them, drop them, drop them, drop them. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits. If you want the tea, come see me. Rabbit hole is the place to be for real news, not fake news. Celebrity news, breaking news around the clock. Real talk, best on the block. I rock, I rock, I rock, I rock. Real talk, best on the block. I rock, I rock. Hit that like, hit that like. Welcome to the chat. Let's chit chat, hit chat. Hit that like, hit that like. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits, drop some rabbits, drop some drop them, drop them, drop them, drop them. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits, drop some rabbits, drop them, drop them, drop them, drop them. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits. True crime is my specialty. Exposing the industry. Unsolved mysteries. Sticking to reality. Fair use commentary. Talking about cults. Trying to get results. Exploring cults. Exploring. Researching. Debunking. Investigating. Being nosy. Super nosy. Being messy. Being shady. Rabbit hole news. That's me. The chick with ADHD. Unmedicated. But quite educated. Hit that like. Hit that like. Welcome to the chat. Let's chit chat. Hit chat. Hit that like. Hit that like. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits. Drop some rabbits. Drop some drop them. Drop them. Drop them. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits. Drop some rabbits. Drop them. Drop them. Drop them. Drop them. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits. Hit that like. Hit that like. Let's go. Let's go. Let's start the show. Let's start the show. Let's start the show. Let's start the show. Let's start the show.
Ooh. Hi, everybody. I am so sorry for being late. Forgive me. Forgive me, people. Forgive me. I'm so sorry. Hold up now. Let me make sure I'm not muted. I'm late and I'm muted. All right. We live. Let me tell the people that we live. I was running like I missed the bus. Yeah. Did you guys ever take the bus when you were in school? And oh my God. I used to hate taking the bus. I took the bus when I was in middle school, not so much in high school, but we moved around a lot, right? So when I woke up late, you just have to hurry up, and that's how I feel. I feel like I missed the bus. Damn it. You know who else reminds me of this too? Shout out to the plainest Jane, because she used to have on her live stream, she used to do like the it's getting sticky with the pancakes, and then like everybody get in the bus, you're gonna be late, and then with the bus, you review topics. I miss our girl. Anyways, shout out to the plainest Jane. I just happen to be yeah, Vicky. That's what I'm thinking. And then people, this is what was so fun about my bestie, the plainest Jane. Okay, sorry. You're like, who's that? No, the long story. But she used to do this thing where she did the members only, and in the members only, it was like the bus. Like, she'd get everybody on the bus, and if you're late, you're late. And then I love it. Anyways, that's what I think about when I'm late. When I'm coming here, I think about the bus. Did I get your email? I don't know. Maybe I did, or maybe I didn't. I'd have to check. Thank you guys. Good morning. Make sure you guys are hitting that like button. I hope you guys are doing well. There's so much going on. You say you're late, you're right on time. Really? Okay, good. You said, I don't like being late. Believe it or not, in real life, I do not like being late. I'm always early to everything. It's like a pet peeve of mine. And I think part of it too is because when I, worked in government, I couldn't stand it. Like, there's a lot of stuff to do during the day. To be late was just like a setup error for me, at least. James says 2 morons are sitting on a fence. The big one fell off. Why didn't the other? He was a little more on. Do I have sound effects? I know I have sound effects on this damn thing. Where is the more sounds? Is it the drum roll? No, that's the bongos. I want the. Do I have that? No. That would be the bongos. I don't think that's a good one. Or the gong. Oh my goodness. Yeah, wake me up with that one and give me some coffee. See how I feel. Or the bounce. Oh, that's cute. Okay. Do y'all hear that? All right. Well, thank you, James. Yeah, that's like, that wasn't it. That wasn't it. But shout out to James. Thank you so much for your support, James. Oh man, I hope you guys are doing well. Shout out to y'all. Okay, so we have much, much, much to get into. I thought we'd have more topics, and we do. I just didn't have time to put everything together. But hey, it's one of those mornings. Let's talk about Lord have mercy. Yeah, why don't we start with the teen mom situation? Now, I will say this. I personally do have like this thing about this show. Part of it is because I watched it a lot when I was pregnant. So I was pregnant and the teen moms were pregnant, right? And it was kind of interesting to I think maybe that's where I'm like, I remember now I was pregnant with my oldest, who'll be 18 this month, right? So there's that. So I heard some news. I think when it broke, it was something to the effect of like Jace, who is Janelle's son. Now, Janelle Evans, for those that have never really watched this show, you're like, I don't even understand. The basis of this show when it first started was it started with MTV, right? And MTV was following these teen moms, these teenage moms. And, some of them were like, had just graduated high school or were in high school or didn't graduate high school. And the whole thing was like, it's supposed to be educational and prevention and, under the guides of that. I don't know how much they've actually prevented as far as if you're talking about teen pregnancy and whatnot. I don't know. But the sad part, I think, for me is like you do get to see, and I don't know if this is what they anticipated as far as these, women, these teen moms and teen dads, that they would be going on with series for like the rest of, their child's, growing up life, right? So we got to see all these like milestones, and then we got to see, Amber Portwood being abusive to Gary, and Janelle can't get her shit together. Janelle, dating and being a teen, and Barbara, her mom, like, by the way, I like Barbara. When I first saw her, I thought she was hilarious. She kind of reminds me of my dad a little bit, because she got that, like, I don't know, something about, anyways. So your notifications aren't working. You used to watch it. I used to watch it, right? And then I stopped watching it. I will take my child into my home and show him true family and love. Well, it was just kind of sad because like some of these teen moms didn't have like a good guidance, right? As a parent, right? Like some of the parents, they just weren't really good with their kids. And so you kind of saw the effects of that. And then you're kind of seeing then what it looks like when you have a child trying to parent another child, right? So there's that effect. But I'm always kind of like on the fence about how I feel about it now, because I like to think that I've matured at least a little bit, right? From the time that I was pregnant with my oldest to, now in my 40s. I still listen to the same music, but, still. I like to think that I've matured at least a little bit. But the generational trauma, thank you for saying that, Muzzy. This is exactly it. The generational trauma was clearly playing right in front of us, right? So what we would see, the disconnection between their kids is something that maybe they experience as well. And so now when we see stories of now these teen mom children are acting out, pointing guns, doing the most, breaking the law, you put the name on it. And then you realize, well, damn, we just kind of watched that whole thing flow and explode the way that it did. It's one of those things where it's like, are we really surprised? I was a mom, in my 20s, right? I wasn't a teen mom, but I definitely didn't really know what I was doing even in my 20s. So there's that. So to me, it's one of those things where it's like, I wasn't, nothing can really ever really prepare you to be a mom or a parent or anything. But it is especially hard when you're a teenager. And then even now watching Jace, let's pull up some pictures because some of you guys might be like, who the hell are you talking about? I don't know if everybody watches or has watched the show. Jace and Janelle. Jace and Janelle. And I know they're like on YouTube, right? So here it is. Maybe a good picture is this one right here because it's got all of her kids now. So you have Janelle. She's like the one that was the teen mom. Then you have Jace. Jace is the son that, we kind of watched grow up. He was mainly raised by Barbara, Janelle's mom. And so we saw a lot of that. Janelle, as a mom, she kind of was a bit disconnected. I think that, she was still kind of growing up from that teenage phase where she wanted to party, she wanted to be in a relationship. And that's the thing about that is really concerning. And maybe some of you guys can tell me how you feel about this. To me, it really seemed very concerning that a lot of the teen moms, Janelle, Amber Portwood, who's the other? Farrah. I'm thinking of all the other ones. Macy, not so much Macy. There's another one that's my favorite that dyes her hair red. I just love her hair. She's one of my favorites. She's kind of like she is basically kind of gotten her shit, like she just wasn't like the others. But what I mean by that is that a lot of the teen moms here were always kind of like the plot line was always them trying to like raise their child that they had as a teen and also get into another relationship, and then potentially they're having other kids. The other teen mom who also had like, I don't know how many baby daddies at this point, just being very honest, after Isaac, I forgot her name. This is how like I see her face, but I forgot her name. And so it's like shortly thereafter, this is kind of like the trend, where it's like the plot line doesn't become about being a good parent and raising your kids. The plot line and the storyline becomes about them dating, them going out, them, doing different things. And then the child kind of gets like, we see them, oh, they're in basketball, they're in baseball, this and that and the other. And that's it, right? But then you have the teen moms that are like, well, it didn't work out with this relationship. I got it. Yeah, Kale, y'all know who I'm talking about. And no shade, people got to do what they have to do and stuff like that. Like, don't get me wrong, but if you think about how the show started, it was about preventing teen pregnancy, right? That's what it was about. But then it became from that to then really covering the drama of who they're dating, who they got pregnant by, and then all these other siblings that they've like entered into the fold. And then, right? Mind you, it's not enough that they were teen moms, all that trauma that your body and your brain goes through and all that other stuff. And then you got other, you're looking at other possible dating options. I just don't understand that concept. For me, it's one of those things where I don't get. I don't get it. But it was a show that it was like that. And to me, Janelle is kind of like that too. Like even the last guy that she was with, I think there was like a allegation of child abuse or something like that between Jace and that guy. He's the one that hurt the animal. Like all of this ish went down. And so this kid is like completely traumatized, and we're expecting him to be normal and everything. And so now they put him in a center. Apparently he what I heard was that he pulled a gun on grandma. And I said, what? Wait, well, he did what now? It's just so weird to see where we're at right now and like how, like why, Teen mom Jenelle Evans visits son Jace in mental health facility. I don't know how old he is. I think he's like 17 or 16 at this point. Teen mom Janelle Evans is set to travel from her home in Las Vegas, North Carolina. In her home in Las Vegas, North Carolina, to visit her son Jace as he receives treatment in a mental health facility. Now, according to TMZ, the visit has not happened yet, despite the teenager having entered treatment late last month. Janelle was planning a trip to the Carolinas for spring with all the children and intends to see Jace while they're there. The outlet reported that the former reality TV star shares a son with Kaiser. This Nathan guy, too, he's one that I think is also in prison or got in trouble. There's another situation happening over there with that. They have Kaiser and Ansley. Ansley is with David, is the one that got the puppy situation. So he's 16 years old and was placed in an involuntary hold after allegedly pulling out a gun and threatening to kill his grandmother, Barbara, and take his own life, according to TMZ. That is really upsetting and really sad. Barbara, who almost raised Jace, she did. She mostly raised Jace since his infancy. After Janelle signed away custody as a teen mom, called the police on her grandson, law enforcement told officials TMZ that they received a call of a troubled teen disturbance. Now, Janelle has legal custody of her son, whom she shares with Andrew Lewis after a judge signed off on a new custody agreement in 2023. However, the teen is back in North Carolina living with his grandmother after multiple attempts to run away from his mom's home shortly after the agreement took effect. That says a lot. Why, Janelle? Why is he running away from you? It is unclear how long Jace will remain in a mental health facility at this time. We have no comment on the matter. We're unable to discuss this issue because it involves confidential matters. And that's what Janelle's rep says. I think that's BS. She doesn't. They always try, Janelle and the team always try to like frame the story so that it doesn't hit the way that it actually is. I've seen this time and time again. Yeah, remember when she had a fight with her mom? Just so crazy. I mean, I don't know, man. I think that was the premise of the show is how mom being so young and can be challenging, especially when you're young and you're still growing up. Yep. Absolutely. You know, and I think like ultimately when you're at that age, hey Renee, how are you? Shout out to everybody. Hey Mar, everybody coming through. Shout out to you guys. I think when everybody like, you know, you're in that age and it's kind of like if you don't have a stable home or like if you're not really loved, it's very hard, you know. And so it doesn't surprise me that some of these teen moms and you start looking for love in other places, and then when that relationship doesn't work, you're more likely to try to fulfill whatever is missing. Maybe you can't find it through your child, but you're having to find it through other people, and that's the part that like it's difficult, you know. But then you're seeing the effects of all of this. And you're right. Like all of this is like a, you know, this child's in a mental facility. TMC kind of put it out there. Or did they? Because one of the things that I know that a lot of these reality TV show stars do is that they tend to kind of put their own ish out for these tabloids too, or you know, media and these people to talk about them to kind of make them trend for whatever reason. Before this, I was watching. Apparently, she had hooked up or connected back with her ex, the man she divorced, and there was the puppy situation. That puppy situation was horrible. I think he did something to the dog or something, and he also put hands on Jace. Like there's that whole situation there. That guy is something about that guy ain't right. This is not right. Something about him is not right. I mean, even I think at one point MTV dropped both of them because he kind of went off on like they were worried. They were like, "Well, are we even safe in this property while we're filming? This guy's not safe, and Janelle's not leaving." I mean, Janelle's kind of there, and she's kind of exposing herself and her kids to a very bad situation. And it wasn't like they had neighbors, y'all. Like they live in the middle of kind of nowhere. Like they got their own little property over there. So keep that in mind. Janelle's sister alleged that she sold the story to TMZ and Jace didn't pull anything on Barbara. I have heard, and this is why I know, Vicky, you said what you said. Like, I can't believe TMZ. Yeah, I agree. But I have known, and she's been one, allegedly, it's been said through rumors from people that I know, that I know, that I know. Some people have told me that some of these teen moms, reality TV stars tend to do this. They just sell things that they feel like is going to be trending for. There's a motive behind this, right? So, business ventures or different things that are happening, bring more attention to them. I mean, the girl's got a YouTube channel, if you want to watch her cook and do different things. And I don't be watching, I'm kind of out of that teen mom era. And I just, yeah. That's how I feel. He said, I love it when Rabbit jumps into a shout out for the chat mid-sentence. Haha. It doesn't get anyone. But it's like this. It's like, y'all are in my house. Oh. Hey, can you open the door? But I'm just arrived. Hey, can you? All right. And then we start all over again. And then I get a lot of shit in the chat from people who are like, why don't you just get started already? Anyways, yeah, get to selling the story, but let's have some ethics when it comes to minors. Hey, man, Vicky, this is the same people who, let's not even get started with that. What is that to TMZ at this point? Anyways, so hopefully, I hope he gets help. I mean, he's 16, right? But then it goes back to, what are you running from? At 16, we're going to talk about Celeste in a minute here, but what are you running from? Well, what's going on? What's happening at home that is making you leave? Like, what's up with that? So I have a lot of questions about this, right? Because before when he was running, it was because of David. David's not there anymore, right? So what are we running from now? What's up? What's going on? Some ain't right. Some ain't right. Okay, so moving on. We have to move on. Let's talk about Laken Snelling. Oh my God, y'all. So the news broke yesterday. People send me emails and are like, Rabbit, did you hear about the news? Did you hear about the news? And we haven't really talked about her because we were waiting for the grand jury to get back to us, right? So Laken, I got like three emails from people. And I'm gonna see if Abby Blabby actually, because I didn't even check if she posted anything yet, which I think is important. Abby Blabby, because she is always on it. So Abby Blabby, oh, she did post it. Oh, snap. Oh, Abby Blabby doesn't miss a beat. Okay. So yesterday it broke that not Abby Blabby, I'm sorry, that Laken Snelling. And let me do a quick little refresher. So Laken Snelling was a University of Kentucky student who she was actually in the what is it called? It's like the dance, not a cheerleading team, because it's like advanced. It's like up, whatever it's called, but it's like they do like the acrobats, the stand-up bats, the upside down bats, those kinds of bats, right? Like so they do the stunts. The stunt team. She's a stunt person in the University of Kentucky stunt team. I literally just made a whole bunch of words here. Stunt cheer. Thank you. Sorry, y'all. I had to, it was in my head and I was like, I can't even say it. So, girl, very young, okay? In her 20s. Not teen, in her 20s. She basically gives birth in her bathroom of like a college, kind of like a college housing situation, right? So she's got roommates. And she gave birth. She gave birth to a baby and then put the baby inside of a bag, cleaned up, and basically fell asleep. And if I remember correctly, I think she fell asleep on the baby. And then when she woke up, she put this baby in the bag with the cleaning supplies and basically put it like in a closet, in a bathroom closet or something, right? She decides to get up and go to class. She goes to McDonald's first to get something to eat and it then drives to her class, but doesn't actually make it to her class. Okay. Well, when that was going down, the roommates decided to like go inspect the bathroom because they're like, well, something's going on. And she was making noises and we don't even know what's up, right? They found the baby. Okay. They found the baby in this, inside the bag. And so they immediately called, for help. Okay. And honestly, like it just, I think the story just kind of broke the way that it did. And we were all like, what, what's going on? And all of this kind of, ricocheted and everything. Okay. Well, we were waiting for her to be indicted. We were waiting for something to happen. Okay. Keep that in mind. But the issue is that, that she hid that she was pregnant. She never got prenatal care that we know of. At least it's been reported. She did have a boyfriend. And then you start looking at all these pictures. She's going to these, gymnastic meets and stuff like that, guys. And you can't even tell that she's pregnant. And then there's pictures of her concealing her pregnancy intentionally, right? So they're apparently in a searching of the phone. They found some things that really led investigators to believe that she was pregnant as well. She just concealed it. She never got prenatal care that we know of. The university has a medical facility, right? For her to have gotten something. There's a safe house. The safe houses are not safe houses, the safe boxes. That's what it's called. This is a thing that's everywhere. Okay. That you could just, I hate to put it this way, but deposit the baby there and just walk away and no questions asked. I've seen this done so many times, in hospitals where, babies just get And it's okay. Nobody's going to be charged. Nobody's going to know. And that's the whole premise of it. It's like, you don't need to harm this baby if you don't want this baby. This baby, and some states allow you to leave a baby or give up your, whatever, no questions asked, to a certain extent. Like, this baby could already be 6 or 7 months old. If you feel like you can't do it, you just have to, sign something and be done. Okay? Before I continue, Mar, thank you so much for the $10. I almost missed the bus. Shout out to my twins for their birthday today. Happy birthday. Oh my God. Mar, sorry, I missed this. I'm so sorry. I'm just not reading this. Happy birthday, Mar. Shout out to all the beautiful, wonderful Ariuses. We had a lot of Ariuses birthdays coming up, like Sylvia's, for example. We got a lot of Ariuses birthday coming up. Shout out to your twins. Twins. Look at you. Shout out to you. Thank you. And you look beautiful, by the way. I see the picture. Shout out to you. Thank you for the super sticker. Renee West in peace. Thank you so much for, my God, a year, my love. Thank you for being a member for a year. Thank you, love. Shout out to you. Yes, my beautiful Mar. Sylvia's like, did she just call me out? I sure did. Anyways, so well, Abraham, that's a great question. Did she pass out and then roll on the baby? That's a great question, And honestly, like, we've had really, really great conversations here, guys, about, like, let me give you guys an example. Alexi Treviso, right? That's a great example of, like, conversations that we've had where, you put a baby in a bag. She was 19, if I remember correctly. 19, 18, man, it's been a couple. We're still waiting to figure out what's going to happen with that case, by the way. And she puts this baby in a bag at a hospital, in a place where you can get a lot of services and support, right, for a baby. But she got scared. She put this baby suffocated to death with the bag, right? And here we are. I mean, she didn't even give the medical staff the opportunity for this baby to be safe, for the baby to have an opportunity. And then here we are 3 years ago. This happened 3 years ago. Here we have lawsuits. We're waiting for the New Mexico Supreme Court to make a decision of whether she's going to be charged, or they're going to suppress evidence. Where are we at? We've been waiting for this case. I've been waiting. It's on my notifications from the Supreme Court in New Mexico, right? Okay, so ultimately, this has been the thing, right? Where young people in their teens, in their 20s, they get pregnant and they get scared. They don't want to, and early on, there are options, right? Like, there's stuff that you can do so that you're not pregnant, and again, whatever you support and believe, that's on you. But that is an option, right? So that later on, you don't find yourself in a situation where you're on a murder charge. You're in this is a thing, right? People have said, well, maybe she got scared because her parents. She was an out-of-state student, guys. She wasn't living with her parents. There's so many things that she could have done. And we have to draw the line somewhere, right? Because although I believe, as a woman, I believe that we get scared. I was her age. I think she's 22 when I got pregnant too. I was very scared. There's a lot of things, that can be done. We should not normalize the fact that when a baby is born, already took the baby's first breath, we should not be able to normalize the fact that it's okay for somebody to say, I'm going to put this baby away, hide this baby, and then commit the ultimate act, right? If this baby was born healthy, and again, how do you assess that, right? But if this baby, this is not what we should do, right? We shouldn't. And that comes down to how much resources we have, adoption. Thank you. What do we have resources? Do options for people. That's the thing. It's like, we have to be able to figure that out. Okay. Anyways, moving on. So, ex-Kentucky student indicted on charges including manslaughter after baby found dead in closet. We read the documents. I'm gonna have to pull those up again. We read all the information, right? When it came to this baby, she had, I believe, a court hearing. She was waiting for the grand jury. Okay. So a former University of Kentucky student charged in connection with the death of her newborn has been indicted. Laken Snelling, a former University of Kentucky student athlete, was initially charged with abuse of a corpse, tampering with physical evidence, and concealing the birth of an infant. Investigators report that a baby was found on August 28, 2025, wrapped in a towel inside of a trash bag in a closet of Snelling's Park Avenue home. On Tuesday, Lexington police announced that a grand jury indicted Snelling for first-degree manslaughter, abuse of a corpse, tampering with physical evidence, and concealing the birth of an infant. Lexington police said that the Kentucky Medical Examiner's Office determined the baby boy was born alive and that his cause of death was asphyxiation by undetermined means. Boy, does that term sound very familiar, because that asphyxiation was exactly how the medical examiner's office determined Lexi Treviso's baby died. So this baby was born alive. He basically asphyxiation, right? Okay. It further goes. Given this new information, a grand jury filed the additional manslaughter charges. The investigation is ongoing. Okay, so that is what we have here. Now, let me see if I click this link. Where is it going to take me? So, excuse me, Laken Snelling was 21 when she was arrested. Yeah, I think I was 22 when I got pregnant. 21, 22 when I got pregnant. She did. I mean, a lot of people were really captured and, really taken by the story because, like I said, when you look at pictures of Laken, she's concealing her pregnancy. She was concealing this pregnancy, y'all. Like, you can't make this up. Concealing. I'll show you guys. This wasn't a situation where I didn't know. No. Like, you could see. This is like so telling to me. It's like one of those, like, another pregnant teenager type of situation. Look at, here it is. Okay. Y'all see that? Remember when Lexi was cheerleading? That girl, I was like, even if I sat at the very back of that bleachers while this cheer team is going and going and going, I saw a very pregnant teenager. How did y'all not see that she was pregnant? Well, me, Blondie, the fact that she was like taking, like, I think that at some point Laken was like, okay, I am pregnant. And she was literally typing up notes and doing different things, I guess in her phone or whatever. She had like, well, you know how like when you have those, like, what are they called? Like YFP boards? Anyway, so those like little boards and stuff like that you on social media that you do where you're collecting certain things. Like, what do you look like? What your baby looked like, when you're 3 or 4 weeks pregnant. Like, I remember one of them, I remember it was a 20. Anyways, one of the weeks it said that the baby was a kumquat, right? Like things like that she was collecting. So clearly she was keeping track. But the girl never went to like prenatal, nothing. I mean, clearly she didn't if she was going to school, because the campus would have probably referred her out, right? She's on the stunt team. That's different than the cheerleading team. This is one of them teams, and I know I said acrobats, and that's probably not the right term, but it's like different teams, right? But this is like the ones that do the stunts and the flips and the upside downs and they're pulled up. Look how pregnant she is. Can you imagine if she would have fallen? Right? Like, yeah. So, hey Belen, how are you, my love? Yeah, Pinterest. Do people still use Pinterest though? I don't even think I have my Pinterest account anymore. I used to use it. I think I have like stuff from when like I was planning my wedding 15 years ago or something, Anyways. Yeah, she was like flipping and flying in the air. Yeah, she was. Uh-huh. So, like I said, and I get people that kind of see the situation, and I get it. Everybody's different. Women's bodies are different and stuff like that. I get it. I mean, with baby Bunny, I didn't even find out I was pregnant till I was like 3 or 4 months pregnant, guys. Like, that's 3 months, 4 months pregnant. Not that, I just, maybe I wasn't paying attention. I was under a lot of stress around that time too. There was so much going on. We were planning a wedding. We got married when I was pregnant too. Like all, so for me, it was easy for me to just not even think about that. So maybe, but to me, it's premeditation when you start planning things, when when you're tracking and whatnot. And one of the signs, I mean, unless your periods are irregular, or there's something else, something's up, you should probably get, checked out. You said, I wonder if the people catching or notice the weight. That's right. That's right. Like, you kind of have to wonder, like, you notice when people's bodies change, but I don't know. So Abby Blobby, who's been following this as well, she says, according to WK, I can't even read, WKYT, an arrest warrant has been issued for Laken Snelling. It is unknown as of post time if she's been arrested yet. So she gives us a little bit of the backstory. Let me make sure I didn't miss anything, but she's 21 years old at the time, and she faces those charges of concealing the birth of an infant, tampering with evidence, and abuse of a corpse. Okay, that was at that time. Now here's the timeline. At 10:34 a.m., this is the timeline of events. Shout out to Abby Blobby for putting this out. August 27th, police responded to Snelling's residence after roommates' suspicion about her pregnancy enter her room and discover a blood-soaked towel and a bag that contained the deceased newborn they described as cold to the touch. Her roommates found a dead newborn. I'm sorry. That's the kind of stuff that can when a baby dies and seeing, discoloration stuff, it's just really, really sad. Or like dead to the touch or anything, and these are young, I hate to call them kids, but I guess I can. They're in their 20s, right? They're seeing this. They're like, oh my God, right? It's just, yeah. Hold up. Oh my God, congratulations. I just found out I'm 19 weeks with my first. Congratulations, first time mama. Oh, shout out to you. Oh, shout out to you, love. I hope you, get your little prenatals, self-care, 19 weeks. Hopefully you're past, I don't know if you're past that, like I said, shout out to you. The body goes through some stuff, but shout out to you, and just take care of yourself and make sure everybody's taking care of you too. Okay. Shout out to you and congratulations. All right. So, cold to the touch. And by the way, if this is too much for you to hear, please don't be in this chat, because this could be a lot, being pregnant and hearing all this information. So self-care, but if you can handle, shout out to you. Okay. According to records previously posted, Snelling told police she gave birth around 4 a.m. on August 27th. She claimed that the baby fell into the floor and she didn't think he was breathing or alive around that same time. One of the roommates messaged in their group chat that she heard a loud noise. Another roommate told police the noise lasted about an hour. Snelling told the police that she was awake for around 30 minutes after giving birth before falling on top of the baby. When she woke up, she got up and noticed the baby turning into blue and purple. She says she believed him to be dead and wrapped the baby up like a burrito and laid next to it because it gave her a little comfort in the moment, the affidavit stated. Snelling claimed she woke up at 7:30 and went to the kitchen to get a trash bag. She then took a shower and cleaned her room. At about 8:48, she responded to the group chat and told her roommates the loud noise was her passing out because she hadn't eaten yet. She then left for a 9:30 class, but didn't attend. Instead, she ordered her food on a McDonald's app, picked it up, and sat in her car for a while before going to the UK's student clinic, but decided not to go in. Snelling was detained. Snelling was detained shortly after, but asked to be medically evaluated. So she was transported to the hospital. Snelling told the hospital staff that her baby showed a little bit of fetal movement at birth, let out a whimper, and that she guessed he was alive. Ooh, that right there, my friends. That right there, my friends, is what you call a statement. Like that's coming straight from the perpetrator. Okay? Consciousness of guilt. Thank you so much. Yes. Yes. Consciousness of guilt right here. Okay? She knew. Made a little whimper. Okay. Let's keep going. Snelling told hospital staff that her baby showed, okay, we just read that, an affidavit filed September 4th by Lexington PD states that the newborn appeared to be full term. Search warrant affidavits filed September 4th and 8th showed investigators seized her phone and sought access to her Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, and shared iCloud accounts with their mom. Police reported finding deleted photos of Snelling during labor. I forgot about this. Oh, I forgot about this. I'm sorry. I forgot to mention this. I really did. Police reported finding deleted photos of Snelling during labor. So, because this is like the selfie era of the generation where you take selfies of yourself during labor, right? Having been through that process a couple times, that's the last thing I would want to do. Anyways, but this is what she deleted these photos. Searches related to pregnancy. Okay, there you go. Evidence of what they describe a concealed pregnancy. Investigators said that the deletions appeared to be an attempt to hide the birth. No, Barbara Bish. That was the other question. And I think that there was two possible fathers. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Let's keep going. Whew, sorry. After reading that, I'm like, oh my gosh. Snelling posted a $100,000 bond, and she's been living with her parents in Tennessee. So she withdrew from school and she went back to Tennessee. She was initially able to go between her house. She was initially able to go between his house and her mom's, but she was later stopped while serving this home incarceration. She doesn't have to wear GPS monitoring. Shortly after bonding out, she withdrew from the University of Kentucky. She would have graduated May 2026. An autopsy performed on her newborn son came back inconclusive. So the cause and manner of death has yet to be determined. A statement given by the medical examiner stated extensive microscopic analysis will be needed to be done. The results are still pending. At a hearing in September, Snelling waived her right to preliminary hearing, and the case was set to a grand jury. In March 10th, a Fayette County grand jury indicted Snelling on first-degree manslaughter charge, along with the additional charges of abuse of a corpse, tampering with physical evidence, and concealing the birth of an infant. The manslaughter indictment came after the Kentucky Medical Examiner's Office determined the baby was born alive and died from asphyxiation by undetermined means. If convicted of first-degree manslaughter in Kentucky, Snelling could face a significant prison time, as the charge is considered a Class B felony, which carries a potential sentence of 10 to 20 years. The case will now proceed through the Fayette County court system, where prosecutors will present evidence and the defense will have the opportunity to respond to the allegations. Oh, Jesus. Sorry. I'm like, I don't see that. I don't know what happened there. Baby was full term. Yeah, can you imagine though, like Filipino food club, like literally think about this, man. Seeing seeing a baby in that capacity is like it doesn't go away from your head, guys. It really doesn't. It stays there when you see a baby that's been harmed or not breathing, not even harmed, but or just not breathing in general. When it, especially because it's a baby, guys. It's a baby. Um, she could have healed with sound. She could have said, "I'm scared. I'm not ready." She could have gone to the hospital and just safe haven the baby, gotten the treatment that she needed, no questions asked. Like, I feel like we don't do enough to promote this. That's the thing, right? We're not doing enough to promote this, right? Or other options as well. But like, if somebody does find themselves, and you know what? Sometimes, with changes of things and laws, like sometimes it does happen where the person is not given another option, and they have to give birth, and they're scared and they don't know what to do. And I think that's the thing, is like, we have to be able to push this, like, safe haven. You don't get criminal charges. Your name is never, you don't have to say anything. You don't have to think about this anymore. You just go. And that's the thing, that it's like, we have to be able to do a little bit more about this. Yes, because she's in her 20s, she was an adult, right? So they don't have to say anything to her. You clearly, Shelly, you feel like you blame the roommates because they did suspect, to be fair, right? If you see this side of it, I don't think you're wrong at all. I think that people can see this side of like, well, if the roommates knew, why didn't they say anything? I just don't know. Like, okay, let me see it this way. If I'm a roommate and, I'm just thinking out loud. If I tell my roommate that she's pregnant, or like, are you pregnant? Are you hiding a pregnancy? Like, the awkwardness of that. I don't know how close they are, right? So there's that. I don't know. And even if they believe she was pregnant, what could they have done? If they thought that she was giving birth up there, yeah, I would have been like, maybe she's giving birth and maybe we need to call the police or something, and they didn't. You know? I think she would deny it too. I mean, if she went as far as to like hide it, she would have denied it, Yeah, one person would have said something, that woman is huge pregnant. Yeah. Said something. You think, like, if they would have said something. I get it, man. Everybody's like, I see like different perspectives. This is yeah. Women can leave a baby at a fire station, and that's right, you don't get charged. But if a man doesn't pay child support for that baby, he's charged. We need equity. You're right. It's a lot. You said your granddaughter had went to the hospital. We had 2 months to buy baby stuff. Everything helped, and she was beautiful. Oh, he's beautiful. That's good. That's like a blessing. There you go. Like I said, parenthood, something's it just comes different ways. Well, here's the deal, right? Call police to report Prager's woman. What is the police supposed to do? Think about it. What is the police supposed to do? That's like the roommate could have reported and said, who do they report to? And what is the person supposed to do? That's the other side to this too. Let me give you guys an example. When I worked in government, we would get a lot of referrals from hospital staff, right? The parent would be, mom would be pregnant, and she's using drugs. This happens a lot, guys. You know how many referrals CPS gets from people that are pregnant and using? Lots of them, and it's sad and unfortunate, but that's the reality of it. It's a real thing, right? CPS can't do anything when the parent, when they're still expecting. The hospital can flag the parent. That they have a system that allows a patient to be flagged, but CPS can't. I mean, outside of just tracking the referral and tracking the information, they can't go out and investigate to figure out if a pregnant woman is using drugs. Now, once the baby is born, what they do is they test the meconium, right? They test the meconium, and then if the meconium comes back positive, and again, it's not a situation that's urgent, the meconium comes back positive for whatever substance, that generates an automatic investigation and generates action from CPS. So different states do different things, right? Keep that in mind. Maybe report to the school. This way they can have a talk with her. That's a good, if the what is it? Safe to tell. I don't know if safe to tell applies to universities, but that maybe that's an idea, right? Like if there's a safe to tell box that says, hey, we believe she's pregnant, but maybe she's scared, she doesn't have any resources, any options, and then have a professional medical counselor or something like that from the university or the school or whatever, maybe approach her. But then again, it falls into this. It's like, unless she's not a teen mom, right? She's not a child. She's in her 20s. She's an adult. She's 21. There's not a whole lot somebody can do, honestly. Yeah. She's pregnant, hiding police not going to do anything about that. They're not. I mean, even the fact that we're start leaving baby books in a room. That's horrible. No, don't do that. I'm just saying, like, even the fact that they were concerned, and I'll give them that. The trauma is there. I just feel like this is a double-edged sword. You said police wouldn't be able to do anything, but if someone came out and said something, then it would be out there. I got you. One of the cheer teams could have, you know what? And maybe that's what it is. Maybe one of the roommates could have said, hey, Laken is pregnant. She looks pregnant. Can somebody ask her? Like, and they could have had that conversation with her. That would have been a very rough situation to be in. But I will say that even if that's the case, it's just I don't know, like liability. If we're talking about liability, I don't think anybody had any like legal liability of anything, right? If we're talking about that. But I get it. I see where you guys are coming from. I get it. Okay. Y'all ready to move on? Everybody, let me know. You said denial. Everybody let that baby down. I hear you clearly, Shelly. I hear you. I just feel like, and maybe they carry that guilt too. What can we do though? They carry that guilt. I bet you. I bet you they do. It's a lot. This is a rough one. It's a rough one. You said, let's play devil's advocate. What if abortion was not an option because of the new laws? And that's what I'm saying is like, I've been hearing, and that's why we need those safe haven boxes even more now. That's why we need them. Because why you're going to have young people like this. That's the reality. We need, if things change, again, however you guys vote, I'm not here to tell you either or. What I'm telling you is that if things change, you're going to have situations like this. You're going to have young people going to prison for situations like this. She wasn't even with her parents, guys. Like she wasn't, right? So you can't even tell me, oh, like the Alexi Treviso situation, right? Oh, she's afraid of her mom. No, she was in a university. The girl was making, decisions about her sexuality, as many of us should be able to do, right? So we need to be able to have those boxes, because otherwise it's just not. What are we doing? We're going to have young people picking up crimes charges that, it's just not feasible at all. Anyways, it's a tough question. No, she's not a victim. Please no, I don't think she's a victim. She was not a teen mom. I do not think that this woman is a victim. But what I am saying to you is that we need to figure this out too, because this isn't just, yes, this is a choice that Laken made. And please note that it is, but this is truly a situation that involves all of us and the decisions that we're making and how we're voting and the things that we're doing. Okay. And what I'm saying to you guys is, if we're not careful, we're going to see this happen a lot more. We do. And you know what? For all we know, not everything gets reported. So guess what? There's probably a lot of stuff that's happening out there that hasn't been reported, right? We don't know. I mean, every now and then you hear about a baby in somebody's closet. A baby. We just heard about a baby being, was it in a toilet? We just, a baby being buried in a backyard because somebody just decided to dig there. And then here we are. And turns out that, little Mary was pregnant all along, and she decided to conceal it, and she gave birth and put the baby in the backyard. Like, y'all see what I'm saying? It's like, we're going to have this if things do not change. Okay. And then not only you're going to have different things, you're going to have victims, and then you're going to have perpetrators, young people like this, because they feel like they don't have options, Joey, thank you so much for the $4.99. My grandson's baby mama, not my daughter, was doing rugs, born with 6 rugs in his system. CPS took him and we went to court to get custody. Shout out to you, man. And you know what, Joey? I'm telling you, that is very difficult, right? When a baby is born drug exposed, because, I heard a baby who was drug exposed, addicted, crying. Those cries are like, they're just so painful to hear. You know what I mean? Like, you hear this, like, let me stop, because I don't even, because I had to do EAP. When I heard that, I was like, I need some counseling, because this ain't right. This ain't right, man. When you hear a baby who's been drug exposed, and shout out to the nurses, the people that that are out there that do this kind of work. There's volunteers out there that go out there and, they hug these babies. They try to help them and ease their crying and stuff like that. I'm telling you, man, you just never want to forget that. This is like, I have a secondary trauma from that. I don't like that. Okay. No, just casual. You're going to have to watch the replay, love. Like, I have to go with the flow that I go. I can't just move on. And please don't do that. I know you got 30 minutes, but you can watch the replay, okay? Please don't be rude in my chat. Okay. And thank you, Joey, again, for your $4.99. I appreciate it. We just going with the flow, guys. I do apologize. I take time because I'm processing things with you guys. And, some issues affect us differently. And yeah. Okay. Let's move on. Let's move on. So I saw this video yesterday, and this was posted by Matt. Shout out to Matt. And this is where I heard that there was another friend of D4VD's reportedly subpoenaed. So they're still doing subpoenas, according to people that have been reporting some of this. Let's get into it.
Guys, so this is another one of David's friends who has reportedly been subpoenaed to testify in front of this grand jury, who is convening to hopefully bring about a murder charge against David Anthony Burke. Please don't send any hate this person's way. We're just going to talk about the art and the aesthetic that this person likes, enjoys, the same way that David does, and the same way that David possibly mimicked. So as you guys can see, not only has he hung out.
Wait. So I heard about this guy that was he's into like the same, like he did a music video that was about dismemberment too. Did y'all hear about that? That there's like the friend, did he also testify? This is separate. His name is Chase. Okay. So Flojo, there was a music video that this guy did that's like, he was also like dismembering it. So people did tell me about this. Okay, anyways, let's keep going.
Out with David and Neo in the past, but he's also hung out with one of David's friends, Asia. On February 28th, 2025, this individual posted a music video, part of a music video, to their IG page. It's called Buzzkill, and part of the music video is about him basically dismembering a female's body. This is very similar to David's romantic homicide video right here, where he is standing over a deceased female and there's blood everywhere. David watched and liked this particular video in February of 2025 on IG. Now remember, Celeste's last proof of life that we know of at the moment is January of 2025.
If it wasn't for the fact, like, Celeste was dismembered, right? And so it's just like so disturbing that, I'm all for the aesthetic, whatever y'all like, the aesthetics, I get it. But you have these people that are literally, like, we have a child that's been dismembered in a Tesla. So for me, I don't have the same reaction of like, this is the same group of people that it's like, they're in this state. I'm just like, yo, I'm concerned. Like, I don't like that. I'm just concerned by this situation in general.
Based on new court documents that have been circulating online, we did get confirmation that Celeste was dismembered in David's Tesla. So the fact that she is believed to have passed at some point in January 2025, he's liking videos of a girl being dismembered in February of 2025. It's eerie. We already have seen the messages in David's Discord where he admits to loving blood, gore, violence. This is just another example of that. And it's also a reason why many people feel like David was using Celeste as an experiment so that he can take these artistic visions that he created that are fake so that he could channel that dark side of himself at Tommy in real life with someone who is missing and not necessarily being looked for, and someone who could pass away and not really anyone would know. If you really think about it, Celeste was missing for so long, it's possible she could have been deceased for 9 months before her body was found in David's Tesla.
Oof, that is just so, yo, it's so hard to swallow this situation. I'm just like, so then it just makes you look at this stuff a little bit different, I think, for me, that it's like, I can't tell you that I see, I don't know, this situation as art given the circumstances in this circle of friends, you know? Yeah, it says you said you can't get away from the lyrics. You can't get away from the lyrics. It's sickening, right? Overall, I mean, it's all very sickening.
If her body wasn't found in David's Tesla, would anyone actually be looking for her? Would anyone even know that she is deceased? Now,
and that was the question that we asked. Remember, guys, it's like the perfect victim. And like I said, there's a lot of kids out there, unfortunately, runaways, that, you know, they have been on the run, or at least been reported on the run, and have not been seen or heard from, and they're likely not walking on this earth anymore because they are the perfect victims.
people online were talking about this particular person and how David is connected to them and stuff. And I noticed that David has started to unlike a lot of these posts that he previously liked on this person's page. Here's one example right here. This person posted a photo of them all bloodied up saying, feeling courageous. And David obviously liked this photo. You can see it right here. But when you look at this photo today, at this specific moment, David is no longer liking it. Also, I'm not trying to say that this person has any knowledge of what happened to Celeste or...
Wait. So David's going back on his social media and he's like, yeah, wow. But isn't like the metadata? So like, do I have any, Ronan is not here. All my beautiful, wonderful tech people. But like, once you like something, even if you unlike it, doesn't like the metadata capture what the account did? Yeah, because like you can't just unlike it and think that people, like, it can't be tracked, right? Damage control for sure. So if I hit the like and then I unlike it, doesn't mean that can't be tracked. Yeah, you can track that. You can definitely track that shit. Like that's a thing. It does, right? Barbara Bish, thank you so much for the 999 love. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you. Aw, thank you guys for showing so much support. Yes, the metadata isn't going anywhere. Okay, so like the first thing, like this account, right? I'm sure, depending on, I don't know, because I'm not very advanced, but I think like if I like something and I unlike it, they could still pull it out. Nikki, thank you so much for your 6-month membership. Thank you, love. Shout out to you. Thank you. It's forever. Every time someone likes one of my posts, I get notified with the name and stuff. Yeah. So if you unlike it, I mean, it doesn't take it back, right? But even like the metadata should be able to reflect whether an account liked something
or any involvement, but I do find it very interesting that he's posted many times since Celeste's body was found in David's frunk. Yet just today, after people started talking about him, he posted 2 stories, and both of those stories are posts from 2025. One post being from March 21st, 2025. The second being from April 4th, 2025. This very well could just be me overthinking. My mind does go a million miles per hour, but remember, we were told that law enforcement was looking at a specific trip that David made at some point in the spring of 2025, possibly connected to Celeste's death. The first day of spring 2025 was March 20th. Interesting how he's basically highlighting two specific dates in the spring of 2025, March 21st and April 4th. It just makes me wonder, why are these two dates or a date in between significant? Are you just trolling because you're trying to capitalize on some attention that's coming your way right now?
And that's pretty effed up if he's trolling. Like, but then again, why am I not surprised? Like, ugh.
I don't know. What are your thoughts on all of this? Let me know in the comments, and make sure you're following me for more updates on this case. As we get closer to bringing about justice for Celeste, you'll be able to find all of the updates here on my page.
Yeah.
Hey guys, so this is another one of David's friends.
So shout out to Matt. Lord have mercy, you guys. It's just like, this is too much, you know? And you said Lauren was talking about the parents are still fighting back the what is it called? The subpoena? Are they still on that? I thought they had I thought that they were already ordered. Maybe I'm thinking about something else. Hold up. Did she do that through LA Mag? Is that what she reported? Let me see. See if I can pull it. Hold up.
Celeste Rivas Hernandez, we have not forgotten about you. You have not been in the news for a few weeks, so we are bringing your name back up, trying to get you back into the cycle and ensuring that people do not forget. As a refresher, Celeste Rivas Hernandez was a 14-year-old girl. Her remains were found in pieces, we now know, per court docs. They were found in pieces in September of 2025 in the trunk of singer David's Tesla. I roll my eyes, and you know why if you watch this video. First of all, the entire case and the fact that there has been no arrests. And also, I am so sick of saying the word frunk and D4VD. So irritating. But I want to pick up where we last left off, where David's family had filed a writ in order to not testify in front of a grand jury in California. They had filed a writ of habeas corpus, essentially saying that their due process was violated because they had no idea what they were going to testify for, because the documents were so heavily redacted and they didn't know why they were these very important material witnesses. So in my last video, I had said, I don't know if they were granted a motion to stay, if the court had said, okay, no, we are going to body attach you and you have to go to Los Angeles for XYZ date. I wasn't sure. But later that day, I ended up putting it out on Twitter, and I didn't end up making a new video, but I actually had heard back from the family's attorney. His name is Kent Schaefer, and I'm going to pull it up right here. And Kent actually said, quote, "Actually, the same day that the Court of Appeals denied our writ, we filed a writ in the Court of Criminal Appeals, which granted our motion to stay the lower court's order. The case is currently pending in the Court of Criminal Appeals."
Oh, well, there you go.
And I have followed up with Kent, so I don't know if I'll hear back soon or not. And I've been checking the docket, but so far there's really nothing new there. But I did find it interesting that they were able to get a stay. So it's kind of on hold, I guess. And at this point,
I didn't even hear TMZ report on the you said TMZ's been quiet, probably because I don't know. I didn't even hear them report on the did they even report about the documents? Because they were kind of quiet. They were kind of like very heavy, they're on Nancy Guthrie and reporting on the letters, right? So I have to kind of wonder, they kind of stayed quiet there, right? Do y'all remember it? I don't even think they did one article with it. It's just weird, but okay.
I was under the impression, just through my sources, that the grand jury would last through February. That was the plan. They had other witnesses to call, and we were all really crossing our fingers and hoping for some kind of movement or an arrest in March. Now, with this news of the stay, that his family is not being forced to testify anytime soon because of this, I'm not so sure. And many of you might be thinking, well, okay, how important is it for his family to testify, in front of a grand jury? Well, I think it's very important. And
so this is just like First Liberty said. I mean, this is going to be the holdup.
And it's very important for a number of reasons. And I was one of those people that I was like, well, his family didn't exactly live with him. What does it matter? What if they have their testimony or not? Well, it definitely matters, because everything that I've researched would show that he is very close with his family, his siblings, his parents. He was reportedly in Texas at one point after Celeste's body was found. I believe he is back in California, just per my sources. But if you're not aware, in most grand juries, if not all, the jurors are actually allowed to ask witnesses questions. They can ask questions through the prosecutor. And I think that David's immediate family might know certain pieces of information that could establish a timeline.
Mm.
And I think that this timeline is very, very important. So they can establish, right, what David was doing possibly throughout the course of the summer. If he visited Texas, if they visited California, what he was doing before his tour launched. So they could also observe his behavior. Did he have any injuries? Was he acting?
Oh yeah, they can ask a lot of questions from the parents. I mean, but yeah, because I was kind of like, well, why are we waiting on the parents? But if he was pretty close, I mean, you never know. Maybe he said something, did something around that time.
Weird at a certain point before he went on tour. Did they see his car? Did they notice anything different about his car? Anything? Did the suspect, and I mean David, so I should say the target, I guess. Did the target, David, did he say anything to his parents or his family about his car, about Celeste? Oh, I'm seeing this girl, et cetera, et cetera. I don't know. I do feel like David seemingly had a very close relationship with his family based on the videos that I've seen. I mean, it's wild. I was watching this video where he's being interviewed by Benny Blanco, and I should play a part of it because he references singing in the church choir. And I know that his dad, it's very convoluted. Some people say his dad was a paralegal or worked in the legal field. Well, his dad did work in the legal field, and he's some sort of tech paralegal, but I believe he also is a pastor or heavily involved in the church. So I was just like, man, this is crazy. Like, what happened to this kid, David? I mean, where, he seemingly came from a good family, and now he's the target of a murder investigation. Yeah, wild. So what I also believe would be the most important reason for his family, seemingly his mother, to testify will be the property transfers. So when did the transfer happen? Exactly. When did he discuss this with her? Did he discuss why? Who suggested it? Did his mom suggest it, or did he suggest it? Was money involved in this? Was there any exchange of anything? Why is he shielding his assets? I mean, there are so many questions here. I feel like that prosecutors or the jurors could ask. So the last thing that I just want to talk about, well, I guess financial records could go hand in hand with that as well, with the property assets and all of that stuff. Yeah, they could ask about certain financial records. They most likely have access to some of his records. I know he's an adult, but he started when he was technically a minor, so maybe they have control over some of that, and they could answer some questions. But no, I was going to say the last thing would be evidence. His family could speak about certain things. Were certain things destroyed in his home? Were certain things cleaned? Did he bring anything home to Texas with him that they thought was strange? There's a lot of questions here. And again, I feel like the family is so important. And that is why we need them to get in front of this grand jury. Well, it's tough to testify about certain behaviors. I mean, or I guess.
Then the question becomes is, how long is it going to take? I mean, if they're pushing back, it's going to, just like First Liberties, what do you think this is going to look like? I'm kind of curious to know your thoughts on that.
The state of mind of the target or the person that they're talking about, but I know that prosecutors would have a way of asking these questions. So yeah, that is where I'm at. And that noise you just heard, by the way, was my email. And I'm just wondering if possibly, nope, I'm like, did I get an email back from the family attorney? No, it was just a reminder that I have a meeting soon. So, I'm going to just leave you with this video that I found of David and Benny Blanco. And again, it just blows my mind because this guy really seemed like he was going to be big. He was on a path where I just feel like he was going to become very successful because he seemed to be so smart in what he was doing and how he was doing this. Like, he basically said he made these 2 songs on SoundCloud that totally went viral and nobody even knew who he was. So yeah, I am just like, what happened? How did you allegedly fall from grace? And why Celeste? Why? And you know what? Regardless of, and look, I know we are talking about a grand jury document that says the people versus David Burke. So he is a target. I know that doesn't make him guilty. Clearly that makes him a major person of interest here. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say that he knows. If let's just say obviously innocent until proven guilty, whatever. He didn't do it. He knows. He has information. If you cared about her and you care about her family and her family having closure and her friends and everyone who cared about her.
I think he needs to, I mean, yeah, there's that. I kind of agree. I mean, she didn't just wind up in the trunk by herself, like something happened.
Why not talk? You have a lawyer. You have a very expensive lawyer, Blair Burke. Talk, say something. I mean, this is just making everything worse, in my opinion. But anyway, let's just play a part of this so you can sort of see, like I said, I guess just the fall from grace here.
And I use my sister's house as a studio. So I'm like in here, it's dark. We got like roads and everything, blankets, whatever. And I'm looking up type beats on YouTube. I looked up emo piano type beat for the first song I ever dropped. And I freestyled the whole thing, paced it down, slowed it down, because in 2021 all the chopped and screwed stuff was still like kind of trending. So I dropped on SoundCloud, didn't put it in the video yet, but then started going up on SoundCloud. And I was like, okay,
Wait, how's it going up on SoundCloud?
I have no clue. I put the hashtags on.
What hashtags?
Hashtag emo, hashtag chill, hashtag lo-fi, hashtag slow and reverb, hashtag blow this up, and hashtag for you page.
It was blow this up. That was
Yeah,
what really
it
took
was,
it.
and the for you page too.
And then you post this on YouTube.
Just SoundCloud.
Oh, just SoundCloud. And like, how many plays are we talking?
5,000 in a week.
How?
I don't know.
And you were just like, whoa. Or you didn't even care at that point. You were like, oh, now I have a song that I can put
Right,
my video.
exactly. But I was like, okay, I'll make another one because like all the fast-paced stuff right now is trending. Like, a lot of fast-paced one on Twitter, and you look at Twitter to find the trends for YouTube. So I go back and forth. I made a song called You and I, which now has what 94 million streams. My second song I ever made. Put it in the montage, and I tagged on Twitter. First Fortnite player to use his own song in the video. That was the title. And bro, everyone was using the song after that day. Like the Fortnite streamers I was watching and looked up to were using my song. Everybody was using my song though. It's crazy because it was worth it.
Oh,
because nobody's copyright strike. So you.
Yeah. So I continue to just be floored.
yeah, that's crazy, man.
Why would you ruin your life and someone else's? Why would you do that? Allegedly. Let's gosh, I need an arrest. I need a trial. As I know you all do if you're watching this video, because you are invested in justice for this little girl. Again, I hope this was helpful to you all in sort of explaining maybe why things have stopped the way they have so far. I really do feel like his family is very, very important to a grand jury, and they are very, very important people for prosecutors to question.
Yes.
Unless they just go there and plead the fifth. If that is what happens, that will be really, really disappointing. And I know that it's a bigger conversation for all of you parents out there who may feel like you are torn on, if your child was involved in something like this. But I hope that all parents would do the right thing. I really hope they would, especially when a little girl is involved, a 14-year-old girl. But, I don't pretend to know all of the details because all of the details are.
Like I said, this must be a very hard situation with the parents. I did speed it up, guys. Because I did, because it's very slow, but I can go back a little bit to the Benny Blanco interview because I'm like, I feel like I've seen this. Hold up, let's see. She shows this right over here, and it's at a normal speed. Here it is.
Been up tight beats on YouTube. I looked up emo piano.
She sped up the Benny Blanco interview though.
Type beat for the first song I ever dropped, and then I freestyled the whole thing, paced it down, slowed it down, trying to make, because in 2021 all the chopped and screwed stuff was still like kind of trending. So I dropped it on SoundCloud. Didn't put it in the video yet, but then it started going up on SoundCloud. And I was like, okay, it's time.
But how's it going up on SoundCloud?
I have no clue. I put the hashtags on.
What hashtags?
Hashtag emo, hashtag chill, hashtag lo-fi, hashtag slow and reverb, hashtag blow this up, and hashtag for you page.
It was blow this up. That was the one that really took it.
And the for you page too.
And then you posted this on YouTube.
Just SoundCloud.
Oh, just SoundCloud.
Just SoundCloud.
And like, how many plays are we talking?
5,000 in a week.
How?
I don't know.
And you were just like, whoa. Or you didn't even care at that point. You were like, oh, now I have a song that I can put in my video.
Exactly. But I was like, okay, I'll make another one because like all the fast-paced stuff right now is trending. Like a lot of fast-paced stuff on Twitter. And you look at Twitter to find the trends for YouTube. So I go back and forth. And I made the song called You and I, which now has what 94 million streams. My second song I ever made. Put it in the montage. And I tagged it on Twitter. First Fortnite player to use his own song in the video. That was the title. And bro, everyone was using the song after that day. Like the Fortnite streamers I was watching and looked up to were using my song. Everybody was using my song though. It's crazy because it was royalty free. Because nobody's getting copyright strike. So you.
Yeah. So
Okay. You said, I think the prosecutors want to know if he called them or informed them of what happened. Yeah, like his side or his behavior, what happened. Were they aware? Well, because you also have to understand too, and good point, good on you. The other thing too is that there's pictures of Celeste, at least in the vicinity where the parents' mom was around and the sister was. The one picture with the booth and everything. I mean, she wasn't, she was around. So people, maybe that's the question. It's like they're trying to figure out like what happened here, who did know what, and asking the questions, and yeah, and maybe what David told the parents, like maybe the parents didn't tell, maybe David didn't tell his parents that she was a minor. We don't even know that piece. We've assumed a lot, but we don't know. I think Caleb is the reason why they're testifying he's a minor and had direct contact with Celeste, and the parents would have to be present to interview Caleb. Gotcha. I think, is Caleb a minor? I thought it was 18. I don't think he's a minor. Was he a minor at the time? Is that what you mean? It's just so many moving parts to this, I think, that we have to kind of keep in mind. Let me now go back.
Prosecutors to question, unless they just go there and plead the fifth. If that is what happens, that will be really, really disappointing. And I know that it's a bigger conversation for all of you parents out there who may feel like you are torn on, if your child was involved in something like this. But I hope that all parents would do the right thing. I really hope they would, especially when a little girl is involved, a 14-year-old girl. But, you know, I don't pretend to know all of the details because all of the details are, you know, they're not available to us right now. So
not right now. Shout out to Lauren. Let me go over here real quick. Yeah, so he turned 18 3 months ago, Flo. So he was a minor at some point, but he's not anymore. So there's that. I want to read this because I had missed this part. I think this was SF Investigates 3 days ago. Today marks 3 months since Celeste Rivas Hernandez was found dismembered in the front of a Tesla owned by David Burke, also known as D4VD. She has been viciously apart and placed in 2 bags. Celeste was only 14 years old when she was killed. To this day, no one has been charged or arrested. In other cases involving murdered children, such as Melanie Buzzard, oh my God, that we're going to have to follow up on that one, or the recent case of 2 young girls found dead in suitcases, law enforcement and prosecutors had held public news conferences. In the case of Celeste Rivas Hernandez, there has never been one. That's true. Instead, there's been what appears to be an ongoing effort to keep people quiet, to seal records from public view. Meanwhile, the individuals responsible for killing and cutting her off are still living among us, free citizens. How many times can a young girl who only lived to be 14 be failed? It's a great question. Maybe this case needs to be investigated. Maybe this case needs new investigators, prosecutors. I don't know what that says. I couldn't read that part. Yeah. I don't know. I think we just have to, you know, keep hopeful, prayerful about, you know, justice for Celeste. That's a great question too. Soft TMI. Family hasn't spoken out what has happened with that too. And I think that would also make a difference, right? If the family speaks out. First Liberty says they can't plead the fifth in the grand jury if the evidence is all pointing to David. There you go. If they try that, they will be locked up until they cooperate, even the brother. There's that. I don't know, man. Hopefully we get some answers. This is kind of where I'm at. Hopefully we get some answers. Hopefully there's an update. Hopefully, man. And we just can't give up, you know? Yeah. In her family, I don't know. I have a lot of thoughts about the situation too. So who knows? Maybe we'll get some news. Maybe it might not be March. Maybe it might be April. Oh my God. It's like, come on. We're all waiting. Well, guys, I'm going to let you guys go because I got to go and pick up baby Bunny. I really appreciate everybody for being here. I really appreciate you guys. You guys are amazing. Thank you. Let me thank you guys. Oh my God. Thank you guys so much for supporting the channel today. I really appreciate it. Y'all are amazing. And I will see you guys later on. Maybe depends. I got some stuff I got to work on. Yesterday I was pretty busy. That's why I didn't do an evening live, but we'll see what happens today. Okay. All right, guys, have a good one. Hit the like button. Don't forget to hype. It's another thing I have to remind people to do. I hate that. Hype. Bye, guys. Have a good one. Bye, guys.